Hello and welcome back to the Courtroom Advocate channel. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Today, I want to tell you a story of how you can be forgotten in the system. Sometime back when we were doing Children's Service Week, this is a time that the judiciary dedicates to looking into all the children's matters that are in the system, especially the criminal matters, and making sure that they are heard and expedited, and so that children can get out of the system. So in Kenya, generally in a magistrate court, a child is only supposed to be in custody for 6 months, and if the matter is in high court, it's supposed to be in 1 year. That is something that has been quite hard to implement, but there's a lot of effort to do that. And one of the ways to help that is the idea of service weeks. So I was an advocate that was volunteering during the service week, and one of the things during service week is that every child should be represented by an advocate. So that is how I got to learn of this particular matter. So during one of the service weeks, we were looking into the children in the system, and I met a young man who was just about to turn 18, and I think he had just turned 18. And he was charged with robbery. So when I got his case, I wanted to read his case file and see what has happened. So to my surprise, when I took the file, the boy had actually been arrested when he was 13. So he had just finished his case CPE. He was waiting for his admission into high school. So during that time, he lived in one of the Eastlands estates. So during that break, when he's waiting to join high school, a friend of his had a motorbike. So he decided to learn how to ride the motorbike. And so sometimes the friend will give him lessons on how to ride the motorbike and so forth. So one of the days during the lessons, these friends said, today let's get out of the estate, let's see how you can do on the roads. So they left their estate and they came somewhere close to Kenya breweries. And when they were just doing their lessons and in their own business, a robbery happened very close to where they were. And because this boy was innocent and he was not involved in the crime, he did not run away. So when the police came, he was one of those people who were found at the scene of the crime, and the boy was arrested. Then he was 13. And then when he was arrested, of course, now he went through the process. He was taken to court. He took plea, and the matter started. But he was given bail, but his parents could not afford it. I think it was set very high, so he was in the system all this time. From 13 to when I'm meeting him when he's 18, he's been in custody all this time. So I got interested what has been happening for 5 years. Why would, a young person's matter take 5 years? Shockingly, when I took the file, on several occasions, the first 4 occasions that the boy was brought to court for trial, the magistrate would ask him, are you ready for your case? And of course, the boy being very young, honestly, I don't even think he understood what being asked, are you ready for your case meant. So I think for him, in those days when I asked him, what did you understand when the magistrate said that? For him, he understood he's being asked, are you now admitting to the matter? So he'd always say no. So the first 4 times or so, he came to court and he said no. And the magistrate got upset by it, and he did something uncalled for. He told the boy, I'm going to give you a whole year for you to prepare for this case. So on this occasion, his next hearing date was given a year from then. This is a young boy, and you could tell even when he stands, because even when I met him, he was not so built up or big. You could still tell he's still a child. So this magistrate decides, now that you are never ready for your trial, I'm going to give you a whole year to prepare for your case. What the magistrate did not do, he did not even give him an advocate, he did not even give him somebody to guide him. So this boy, all of a sudden, he has a whole year in custody, doing nothing, preparing for his case. Is he really preparing? No, because he really doesn't have anybody to help him with the case. So after that, when he started coming, also now there were other adjournments. You know how our system work. One day the prosecutor doesn't have the file, the police file is not availed, and especially when a matter has taken a whole year to come back, definitely the police file will go missing. So the police file on several occasions, when the matter now after the 1 year came, on several occasions the police file is not available, the next one the magistrate is not available, and so on and so forth. So by the time I'm meeting this boy, he's 5 years in the system, his matter is not heard. We took up the matter with other pro bono advocates that we were working with, and started following up the matter and asking what is happening. And it was very clear that already there was injustice that was happening to this young man. Since for 5 years the matter has not been heard, it was also clear, even looking at the evidence itself. And unfortunately, you see, the way our system works, especially when you're in remand, the magistrate never gets to hear about your what evidence is there against you until the matter is heard. So it is also looking at the file later on, we discover really actually there is no much of evidence to that this case can hold on. So we quickly dealt with the matter, and we presented it to court, and the boy was able to be released. But it kept me wondering how many other children, or how many even, you know, adults are forgotten in the system just because they do not know the law. How many other people are forgotten in the system because of poverty, you know? This boy would have actually been released on bail or bond, you know, and he would have continued with his school as the case continued. But that did not happen. He was in, and I believe it continued that way because also the parents did not know what to do. So you can imagine your child is in custody and you have no idea what to do, because there could have been the opportunity to go to court and argue for lesser bail, lesser bond, you know, look for ways of having the boy out. But unfortunately, this did not happen. One, because of the literacy level, you know, the parents do not know the system. People are really scared about dealing with the law and the justice system, judiciary. There is just generally a fear in the public about it. So this boy wasted his life. He never got to high school. And unfortunately, our remands do not have an education. So if your child is in remand, there's no education classes going on, because remands are supposed to be very temporary holding facilities. They're not supposed to be long-term facilities. So and maybe my guess is that is why there's no education programs per se. So this boy never got to go to school because he was not in a facility that allowed him to go to school. He was wasted. If later on this boy literally becomes now a criminal, because when you're in custody, you really actually now deal and get to learn about other criminals and about other activities. Your friends, when he left the prison, who are his friends then? Maybe the others who had been released earlier, or the ones who were released after, and he did not have skills. Of course, when we talked, he said that was so horrible, I would never want to go back. But I'm thinking we set him up, you know, to reoffend, because for 5 years there is no skill that was impacted. He's also traumatized, and I would not even be surprised if he's bitter. You know, sometimes you wonder why people are bitter, you know, broken and bitter, and it's because of the kind of things they have gone through. So just looking at his case, I'm thinking we need to avail advocates, we need to avail legal knowledge to everyone. And I'm happy that you're watching this channel, because when you have knowledge, knowledge is power, and the law is very powerful, and if you do not know how to use it, it will be used against you. So be educated, learn your law. Thank you for watching.